Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Black Beacon, the brand new RPG that's finally landed, and wow, it's been worth the wait. With so many unique characters to choose from, it can feel a bit overwhelming at first, right? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we're breaking down the top characters you should be investing your time and resources into. Some of them are absolute monsters in both damage and utility, while others, well, they're more like background extras in a blockbuster movie. Now, I know everyone has their favorites, and every character brings something cool to the table. But let's be honest, some just hit harder, survive longer, or carry your team better. I've spent hours testing these characters, and today I'm bringing you a full tier list from the absolute best to the ones you might want to avoid for now. So grab your gear, maybe a snack, and let's jump right into who's dominating in Black Beacon right now. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking characters in Black Beacon. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Enki and Shin. The land of almost good, where the characters aren't bad, but let's just say, you're not exactly writing home about them. Welcome to the C-tier crew of Black Beacon, a place where potential exists, but execution takes a lunch break. Let's talk about those folks who try real hard, but you kind of wish they wouldn't. Let's kick things off with Enki, our resident water slinger with a flair for orb tricks. On paper, Enki sounds kinda cool. He sends out these energy orbs that might explode and cause area of effect damage. His ultimate looks flashy too. Big glowing orb, dramatic jump, boom. The thing is, his whole kit is like trying to juggle while dodging punches. You have to set up the orb, throw it, and then hit it again when it comes back to actually get the good stuff. In the chaos of combat, pulling that off is like trying to microwave soup in a hurricane. Sure, he has support potential, but with this much setup, Enki ends up being the guy who arrives late to the party with a complicated board game no one wants to play. Then we've got Shin, the thunder element spear fighter who's got a lot of heart and a very pointy stick. Her moves are all about throwing that spear, piercing through enemies, and getting a lightning dash boost if she hits targets already charged up with galvanic electricity. This leads into a flurry of fast stabs for extra damage. Sounds electrifying, right? And it kind of is. She's easy to use and can pump out decent numbers, which is perfect for newer players or anyone who just wants to stab first and ask questions later. But here's the thing, Shin kind of plateaus. Her ultimate is fine, a decent leap then cleave combo, but nothing that will make you scream and meta breaking from your gaming chair. And while her damage output is solid, she doesn't bring much else to the team. No buffs, no utility, just serious stuff. Also, she's a 4-star character, which means her numbers start trailing behind once you hit the late game and your enemies start looking like raid bosses on steroids. So yeah, both Enki and Shin have their moments. They're not terrible. They just demand more effort or offer less reward compared to other heroes in Black Beacon. Think of them like that one pizza topping you don't hate but you'll never ask for. You won't cry if they show up in your pool, but you'll probably keep scrolling. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Idzi, Erishan, Weshi, Ninsar, and Logos. Alright, imagine this, you're in the middle of a brutal boss fight, your main damage dealer is down, your healer is gasping for mana, and suddenly, boom, Idzi walks in like she owns the place. Yeah, welcome to the B tier, where the characters may not be top of the food chain, but they've got enough tricks up their sleeve to turn the tide if you play it smart. Let's kick things off with Azzi, the queen of strategic takedowns. She's not just here to shoot things, she's here to mark them for doom. Thanks to her rocket launcher, enemies hit by her are tagged with arrow wounds, which makes them take double damage. That's right, double. She's basically saying, hey team, shoot this one next. On top of that, she can deploy drones to rain fire on chosen areas, and her ultimate ability, an orbital cannon strike. Yeah, from space. Toss in her firepower buff that increases incoming damage for 20 seconds. And she's the kind of support who sets the table for your big guns to feast. Then there's Erishan, our damage queen with a very expensive taste. She's got a mix of single target pain and area of effect carnage, all revolving around these neat little phantom marks she slaps onto enemies. Those marks, they make enemies take more damage from everyone. Her ultimate ability is a fireworks show of charge attacks followed by a huge explosion that pulls up to 4 enemies into one big ouch zone. But here's the catch, you need 3 to 5 duplicates of her and at least a level 4 breakthrough to see her real potential. So yeah, she's powerful, but your wallet's gonna feel it. Now, Wuxi? Oh, Wuxi. He's that cool kid trying to do parkour in a fight. He's all about teleporting around the battlefield, dropping dark scars on enemies like he's tagging a subway wall. His damage is solid, and he can amp it up through his Dark Blade effect, which adds area of effect chase damage. His ultimate sends out 8 flying blades that cut through everything in their path. Sounds cool, right? It is, but his rotation is more complicated than it needs to be. If you're not into button memorization and anime level timing, you might want to stick with simpler 4-star damage dealers like Shamash or Shin. Ninsar brings a literal rock to a gunfight, and somehow makes it work. She and her trusty golem are all about dealing area of effect damage while also shielding allies. Her second skill sets up a barrier for 15 seconds that refreshes shields every 2 seconds as long as your team stays inside. So yes, she's the mom friend of the squad, but once you fully upgrade her, she transforms from a full-time babysitter into a hybrid unit that can crush mobs and bosses alike with her ultimate, an explosive charge strike delivered straight from her golem's rocky fists. Logos, on the other hand, is what happens when your bard refuses to stay in the backline. She's a rare hybrid who deals consistent chase damage and heals the team every half second using her summoned musical notes. These notes hover around your team like overexcited backup dancers, smacking enemies and restoring health at the same time. Her ultimate might not have the razzle-dazzle of others, but it deals solid damage while she bounces around the battlefield. Logos is especially useful if your main damage dealers are a bit squishy. Characters like Florence or Li Chi love having her around. The B tier isn't just meh characters, it's more like a group of underrated weirdos who can really shine with the right strategy and setup. These are the characters that make you go, wait, why is this working? Mid-fight, and then suddenly you're winning with a squad you didn't think stood a chance. Of course, they're not always plug and play. Most of them need investment, whether it's leveling, breakthrough upgrades, or just learning their funky skill rotations. But once you get the hang of them, they offer unique advantages you won't always find in higher tier characters. So before you bench that oddball with the teleportation gimmick or the golem companion, give them a second look. The B tier might not be where legends are born, but it is where the real fun begins. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Asti, Viola, Shamash, Nanna, Ming, and Qing. Let's get one thing straight. A tier characters aren't just good, they're excellent. Sure, they might not be game breakers like the S tier champs, but these characters are still top tier choices for almost any situation. You know, the kind of characters you can always rely on. So let's dive in and take a closer look at these powerhouse picks from Black Beacon. First up is Asti. Now, Asti might not throw tornadoes around like some of the big hitters, but she's definitely no slouch. Her umbrella throwing attacks are both cute and deadly, dealing area of effect damage while generating something called rainwave pints. Don't let the name fool you though, these pints are the key to her healing abilities. She creates rainfall zones that heal your allies every 2 seconds for a full 20 seconds. Oh, and did I mention her ultimate? It's a tornado that deals serious damage to everything in its path. Asti is a perfect early game healer who brings both support and offense to your team. Plus, who wouldn't want a rainstorm that heals you? Next up, let's talk about Viola. If you love to control the battlefield, Viola's your girl. She's got continuous thunder-based area of effect damage, and her ability to create damage zones that deal ongoing damage every second is a game changer. When she unleashes her abilities that affect tonal range and tonal size, she can cover large portions of the battlefield. Her ultimate? She traps enemies in 2 electric nets that deal massive damage to everyone caught in them. Viola's not just a sub DPS, she's a battlefield dominator, setting up huge areas of damage while you enjoy the show. Shamash is up next, and he's all about defense with a twist. He brings counter-attack mechanics to the table that make him a solid tank/DPS hybrid. He blocks incoming attacks with his stone tablet, and once he generates enough rage, he can dish out some serious enhanced damage. He also has a cool move where he throws his weapon ahead and runs through enemies, causing damage in his wake. But wait, it gets better. His ultimate summons a radiant ring that causes a massive explosion. Shamash is a solid pick, especially if you want someone who can hold the line while still dealing damage. However, like all early characters, his damage can fall behind the newer, rarer units as the game progresses. Then there's Nanna, a character that's a bit more complicated but totally worth the effort. Her combat system switches between full moon and new moon states, ramping up her damage as the fight goes on. Perfect for boss battles or wave-based encounters, Nana's ranged blade throwing playstyle lets her stay safe while dealing consistent damage. Her ultimate creates a spatial distortion that wrecks everything caught by her blades. She's awesome at crowd control and AoE damage, but she's not exactly a carry. Nana requires precise timing, especially when it comes to her passive ability that spawns a spinning blade, which can be tricky but rewarding. Ming brings something really unique to the table with her area control and damage sharing abilities. When she attacks, she generates candle shadows that, when consumed, summon flames that chase down enemies, dealing damage every 0.5 seconds. But the real kicker is her ability to link enemies with soul threads, forcing them to share damage between each other. It's perfect when you want to maximize the damage output on a group of enemies. Her ultimate summons a lamp ghost that damages enemies in front of her. Ming's a solid fire support character, boosting the next character with a fire cloak that adds extra damage on top of her own elemental hits. If speed is your thing, then Qing should be at the top of your list. She combines fast attacks with powerful water-based area of effect abilities. Qing is a fast attacker who hits multiple enemies in her path, and her Abyssal Calm ability performs a circular AoE attack that deals massive damage. But here's where it gets really fun. As she hits enemies, her abilities turn into powerful line-based AoE attacks. Her ultimate makes her leap into the air and slash downward, creating a devastating wave of water that obliterates anyone in her path. Qing is the perfect character if you love fast-paced action and powerful AoE. There's just something special about Asti, Viola, Shamash, Nana, Ming, and Qing. They might not be the flashiest, but they're all reliable and versatile. Whether you're looking for a healer, a damage dealer, or a support that can shift the tide of battle, these A-tier characters have got you covered. So, next time you're assembling your team, keep these guys in mind, because they're sure to get the job done. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Li Qi, Florence, Zero, and Hefe. Let's be honest, if your team doesn't have at least one of these S-tier monsters, you're probably still stuck getting slapped around in stage 7 like it's your full-time job. First up is Li Qi, a character that feels like someone took a berserker, gave him a Red Bull, and said, "Go nuts." He's a complex character to master, but if you pull it off, oh boy. Li Qi gains something called Battle Will while fighting, which sounds cool already, but here's the twist. As he builds up that power, his health keeps dropping until he hits 55%. You're basically watching your health melt away while preparing for an anime-style transformation. At 100 Battle Will, he enters a state that straight up feels like Super Saiyan mode. Faster movement, devastating area of effect, AoE damage, and chaos everywhere. His ultimate ability creates after images that attack enemies and heal him for 10% of his total health with each hit. So yeah, high risk, high reward, just don't forget to pair him with a good healer like Asti or Logos, or you'll be crying at the respawn screen. Now let's talk about Florence, aka the AoE Queen, aka Spin to Win. She wields a massive greatsword and absolutely lives for wiping out groups of enemies. Her kit includes a spinning move that basically turns her into a giant, deadly fidget spinner. It hits 3 times and covers a massive area. Florence can also toss her sword like she's auditioning for the Olympics, knocking enemies back before lunging forward with a stylish finisher. Her ultimate? 3 gigantic area slashes that make enemy mobs disappear faster than your goal during a gacha banner. She's beginner friendly and strong from the start. But if you really want to see her shine, aim to unlock her 4th potential level, which boosts her critical hit chance and critical damage. Trust me, it's worth the grind. Then we have Zero, and don't let the 4-star rating fool you. This girl is secretly running the whole show. Zero is one of the best support characters in Black Beacon, mainly because she gives your entire team a massive attack buff that lasts 20 seconds. That's right, 20 full seconds of let's obliterate everything in sight mode. And she doesn't just stand there looking pretty, her damage output is no joke either. Her ultimate launches her into the air before she comes crashing down, causing huge area damage. Plus, she's super easy to level up since you get duplicate copies of her naturally by progressing through the main story. Budget friendly and OP, that's a win-win. Hefe is next, and she's the mom friend of the squad, but with a hammer the size of a small car. Her whole gimmick revolves around protecting the team. She jumps around the battlefield, dealing damage where she lands, but her main strength lies in her forging zone. Once she sets it up, anyone inside gets increased damage resistance for 20 seconds, and the best part? It stacks up to 5 times. That's not a buff, that's insurance. Her ultimate move has her swing her hammer in wild arcs before slamming it down with a mighty strike. Pair her with heavy damage dealers like Florence, and suddenly, your team is not only hitting hard, but also taking hits like a brick wall. Li Chi and Heffy together are actually a dream combo if you think about it. One is constantly losing health, and the other is out here yelling, "I got you, sweetie," with armor buffs. It's chaotic, dramatic, and surprisingly effective. Florence, on the other hand, thrives in messy brawls. Stack her with Zero, and it's like watching an art installation called The Instant Deletion of Enemies. With Zero's attack boost and Florence's sword-flavored tornado attacks, mobs just vanish. No need for strategy when you can just flatten everything. And honestly, if you're the kind of player who enjoys controlling the tide of battle without always being in the spotlight, Zero and Heffy are your go-to picks. One buffs offense, the other buffs defense. It's like peanut butter and jelly, but with more explosions. So yeah, S tier isn't just about flashy damage numbers. These characters each bring something wild to the table. Some are elegant chaos, some are support with bite, and some are just plain absurd. But together, they make Black Beacon feel like a power fantasy done right. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.